ever met an obnoxious kid? Are your kids unruly? Is it like the whole world revolves around them and their happiness? Are your kids basically running the show? Let's talk about it! Barry Smith here with Youchoose.community, husband of 24 years, a dad for 18, and a pastor who's seen his share of problems with kids. Now, my kids aren't perfect, but they're pretty amazing, and I couldn't be much prouder of them. But parenting is no joke. It's work, and it can be scary. With over 25 years of pastoring and coaching parents and kids, I've seen some pretty jacked up families, I'm just saying. And if you listen to the end of this video, I'm going to give you 3 golden nuggets to really help out most every family, I promise. It's great stuff. Now, each family is different, but here's a consistent problem across the board. It's your message in a tweet. If you don't get anything else, get this. Kids are being put in charge of the family, and it's the parents who put them there as a kid CEO. It happens at the birth of your first child. You drop everything to take care of this precious baby, and you should. After all, they're completely dependent on you for everything. But then they get to be 2 and 4 and 6 and 8, and we still revolve our entire lives around them. Where do you want to go to eat, little Johnny? Where do you want to go on vacation? Hey, Johnny, we're having meatballs for dinner. I hate meatballs. I know, dear. I'm gonna make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's no wonder our kids are so entitled. Between the everyone gets a participation trophy to us putting them in a kid CEO position, they're doomed to a life of entitlement. I'm not saying you're a bad parent. You do all you do because you love your kids, and that's awesome. But maybe it's time to step back and look at your family as an outsider. Are we as parents leading our family, or are the kids calling the shots? Take a couple weeks and pay attention. Are most of your decisions based on the happiness of your kid and something they will like? If so, that's not really setting them up for success later, because the grown-up world doesn't work like that. Maybe it's okay for you to have that girls' night out and be away from your little one for a few hours. They'll be okay. Maybe it's a good idea to get a babysitter for an entire weekend, or choose the vacation where you want to go, or eat out wherever you adults would like to go. It doesn't have to have a Happy Meal or a kid's playground every place you go. It's tough leading our kids effectively, but spoiling them and making them a CEO will only lead to disaster. It's just a matter of time. Look at my son's basketball trophy. It says, Most Outstanding Player. Most Outstanding Player. He's got about a dozen of these, and every year it says Most Outstanding Player, and everybody got one. It was so great to hear my son say, Dad, look at this. Not everybody can be the most outstanding player. Attaboy, son. Hey, if your boss gave you a plaque that said highest paid employee just to make you feel good, what would you think? It's lame, because it's a lie. You're not the highest paid person, duh. So you be encouraging with your kids and sensitive and inspiring with your kids, but throw in a dash of reality too. If your son is 6'3" as a 13-year-old boy and you keep telling him that he can be anything in the world that he wants to be, that's encouraging, but he's not going to be a competitive professional horse jockey. He just can't. He's too tall, and he probably won't be a ballerina either. And if we keep letting our kids run the show and base most every decision off their happiness and enjoyment, we're helping perpetuate an unsustainable model. Kids aren't able to be the CEO of anything. They're not old enough to call the shots in a home. They're not wise enough to call the shots in a home. Kids don't have enough experience to make good decisions for the family. So stop letting them. If your kids are the CEO of your family, it's time to demote them. They don't get the corner office anymore with all the perks. They're no longer going to make all the decisions. And you can make this change quickly or slowly. Only you know what's best for your kids. And if you'd be so honest as to admit that your kid is a CEO, just post CEO below, and we'll be sure to pray for you and your kids. Just post Kid CEO below in the notes. Now, demoting your kids is not to hurt them or punish them. It's actually to help them. Maybe you sit down with them and have a round table discussion with them and talk about the upcoming changes. like choices in eating out or vacation or meals at home, that you're going to eat everything that we serve or you don't get anything at all. Now, obviously, your kids' ages will determine how you carry this out and how strongly you come across. But you might be thinking, yeah, but my kids will flip and they will be so upset. Yep, well, you would be too. But if they're incapable of running the show, it's the best decision ever. You're not to be their friend, you're the parent. Your job is not just providing for them, it's parenting them, and that's tough. But you can be their friend when they're older and not under your roof. Our role is to prepare them for leaving. Proverbs 22:6 says this, "Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it." One version says, "Train up a child." When you train them God's way and let them know that they're not always going to get their way, they'll be less entitled and much more prepared for life. And a great way to prevent or reduce entitlement in your kids is to teach them some gratitude. So here's the 3 golden nuggets that I promised you. 3 ways to reduce entitlement in your family. Number 1, write thank you notes. Write thank you notes to teachers, friends, other parents for birthday gifts, acts of kindness, etc. Write handwritten thank yous. Number 2, make a 100 list. Have the family sit down together and individually write 100 things they're thankful for. Then go around the room and read your list to everyone else. That'll be an awesome moment, guaranteed. Finally, number 3, have a thankful feast. Get your family in a comfortable circle and pick someone to be it. Then everyone goes around the room one at a time and says why they're thankful for little Johnny as a part of their family. You could say things like things that you like, or things that you appreciate, or things that you would want to honor them for. This will also be an amazing experience. And when you're doing these things, take away everyone's cell phones. You'll be glad you did. Parenting is tough, and there are all sorts of problems that we can have in raising our kids. Just be sure you're not the cause of this one, appointing them as kid CEO. Train them up in God's Word and to have some thankfulness along the way. You'll be so much better off, and so will your kids. And as always, like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. It helps us get the message out there. And if you like our stuff, consider supporting us with a tip on PayPal or a tax-deductible donation at Youchoose.community. The links are below. We'd certainly appreciate it. So right now, go ahead, hit that thumbs up and share this thing, because no doubt someone you know probably needs to hear this. And don't forget, if you have a Kid CEO, just post Kid CEO below, and we'll pray for you. Until next time, let's lead our families well, God's way.